a lot of people, I think, will believe that some of the uncertainty has been lifted over the future of the dockyard and naval base. Some sceptics might also feel that, we're losing, as the home of the Royal Navy, we're losing a lot as well. What would you say to that?
There is one area of uncertainty that remains, and I'm not able to clear up today, but Devonport will be the centre of excellence for all of our deep refit work for the Royal Navy, both the submarines and the Grey Fleet. That is a huge amount of work, high value work, that underpins a skilled workforce that we need to keep and will keep into the future. It will also remain the centre of amphibious warfare. We'll enhance that. We'll bring the Royal Marines and the landing craft here. It will also remain the centre of naval training with FOST, Raleigh and Dartmouth. The submarines eventually will go to Faslane, that's true. And we are unable to give certainty about the Type 23 frigates at this point. None will move for 5 years. The Type 22 will stay here for the rest of its life, and we will be able to answer that question by the end of the year, once we understand the replacement for the Type 23, how complex it is, and therefore where we ought to base it.
When you say the replacement, you mean the
future surface combatant.
Right. Would you mind talking a little bit about that? I mean, I'm not entirely clear on that. That's looking to the future and really looking at the next kind of generation of ships that are coming in. Am I right in thinking that?
So the next generation of frigates. There is not going to be just one variant. We're going to have some very complex, high-end warship capability there. Those will be based at Portsmouth. But the Navy needs ships. It doesn't only need extremely expensive, complex ships. It needs numbers of ships. So there will be other variants to conduct other roles. Where they'll be based hasn't been decided, will be decided before the end of the year, I think, I'm pretty sure.
You mentioned about Plymouth becoming the centre of excellence for amphibiosity. Great word there, by the way. I haven't heard that one before. What does that mean? What does that mean? We've got the 3 amphibious warships. We've got the Royal Marines, obviously, here as well. You mentioned before about the squadron moving down from Poole. What does it mean? What are we going to see here? Large buildings? I mean,
Well, amphibious warfare is a huge part of the Royal Navy's capability. This is already the centre for those amphibious ships. They'll stay, and we'll enhance the role by moving the Royal Marine capability, all of the landing craft, as soon as we're able to, into Devonport. So all of that amphibious warfare capability, Devonport will be the place for it.
And would that mean 539 Assault Squadron moving from Turnchapel to the naval base?
It does.
It does. Any ideas what's going to happen with Turnchapel at this time?
I'm not able to say whether or not we'll find another use for it.
Sold off?
Potentially, but we'll have to look at whether or not there are other defence needs.
There are other elements, Royal Marines up in Poole, such as the SBS. Will they be moving down to Plymouth?
No decision on that been taken.
And you mentioned before when you were down visiting Plymouth that there was the possibility that 4-5 Commando up in Arbroath could also possibly move down to Plymouth to sit alongside, obviously, 3 Commando Brigade, 4-2 Commando.
There are no plans to move 4-5 Commando from Arbroath. I don't think I said that before. I'm pretty sure I didn't.
Is it right you visited HMS Raleigh earlier on today?
Yes.
What did you think of the site there, and can you confirm that HMS Raleigh has a future where it is?
Yes, we're already modernising building facilities at HMS Raleigh. There are, if anything, HMS Raleigh will grow over time. It is the home of Royal Navy training. Fantastic ethos, great capability. We've got a lot of work to do, in terms of the facilities. We've got to continue to invest, and that's what we plan to do.
just skipping, toing and froing, sorry, back to the submarines. Trafalgar class, there have been delays, if I'm right in thinking, to the Astute programme. Is it likely that the lifespan of the Trafalgar class is going to be extended? And if so, will this mean that they stay base ported here in Plymouth for the time being? Will it delay anything?
Well, what we're announcing today is that the last three of the Trafalgar class submarine will, after their next refits, move to Faz Lane. The other boats will stay here for the rest of their lives. That means that submarines will, base porting will leave Devonport between 5 and 8 years. So there'll be no move before about 5 years' time, but within 8 years, the plan is that they will have left Devonport.
The council leader, Councillor Vivian Pangeli, has written to you actually asking a number of questions. One of the questions asked for assurances that any proposals to dismantle and store nuclear submarines at Devonport is immediately disclosed. Can you confirm that consultation will take place with the city?
Consultation will take place with the city and far, far wider than that. We will have to do a strategic environmental assessment. We're obliged to do that by law, and we cannot take a decision until such time as that assessment has been done. Our assessment involves a consultation period, and yes, of course, we'll not only do the minimum that's obliged to us by law, but we try to involve the city as much as we can in our planning in this area.
Finally, the Naval Base review was kind of announced, I think it was 2006, that's nearly 3 years ago. Would you apologise to the city for it taking so long, or would you just say that these things are it has taken this long because it has?
I think that there has been, to some degree, an unrealistic expectation about the amount of detail that we are able to give the city, and how far we can push back the horizon, how far we can predict into the future. We have tried, as soon as we're able to be as open as we can and to disclose as much as we can and to discuss as much as we can with the city authorities. They are our partners. They are vitally important to us. We need that working relationship going forward, because Devonport is going to remain a very important facility for us and a very important part of the city's economy.
And you think that Devonport's future is extremely bright?
Yeah, I do. It'll change. The world will change. The Navy will change. We've got to specialise. We've got to be as efficient as we can. But Devonport's going to be absolutely central to that capability going forward. The Royal Navy depends on Devonport and is going to for many, many years to come.